And one fish, two fish. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. Okay, Twitch is good. And one fish, two fish. And a red fish, blue fish. Okay, Twitch is good. I don't know. Is that volume okay? I think that level's fine. So let's just make sure we're looking good over on the YouTube ski. I think that level's fine. So let's just make sure we're looking good over on the YouTube ski. I think that level's fine. So let's just make Chris, you going to starting YouTube after the cartoon? Chris, you going to start? I think did YouTube stop? No, YouTube didn't stop this time. That's the reason why I switched to Fritz the cat. Did YouTube stop? No, YouTube didn't stop this time. Okay, I got echoes in the background. Hold on. Fritz the cat. Did YouTube stop? No, YouTube didn't stop. I was thinking of just running the cartoon and then starting the YouTube. I just swapped the cartoon out. Hold on, I'm still echoing on Twitch. Hold on. There we go. It's I don't know. As far as I can tell, it is a public domain cartoon. At least that's how it's labeled in Wikipedia, and I can't find a renewal for it. So, was it 1935? You would have had to renew that after like 28 years or so, was the old copyright law, which means what, 35, 45, 55. Like in the early 60s, they would have had to renew the copyright. I couldn't find anything that said that. On the other hand, Wikipedia could be wrong. But I'm thinking more likely either the YouTube bot is wrong or there's a copyright troll who is claiming copyright on a public domain work. That's a possibility. Or it's in a collection which got copywritten and then it's getting flagged for that. I don't know. Anywho, I think more than likely it is in public domain. I got flagged for a Mickey Mouse cartoon that was in public domain earlier this year. And I'm just sure it's just because YouTube wasn't keeping up because it just went into public domain just at the beginning of the year. Anywho, I've got 1923 Silent Fritz the Cat. I was pretty sure that was safe. I don't know. It still might get flagged. I don't know. Anyhow, we're working on the car. And Joris, welcome. Good to see you. And I see Fallen Learns is back in here. Good afternoon. And CS Bond is in the house. So this is kind of where we left off with this on Thursday. I am loosely, well, more or less basing it off the Carhops in American Graffiti. We're going to have a shorter skirt option. So today I'm actually going to focus on the skates. And we're actually going to I did the I did a Pulp Hero Pulp Adventure set. Pulp Safari, that was it. Pulp Safari had nice laced boots. So we're probably going to repurpose parts of those for roller skates. She also is going to need an apron, so we still have to do that here in Marvelous Designer. I do have to model her a pencil. And guest checks, we're just going to repurpose the guest checks I did with the server outfit, which just came out Friday. So we're going to do boots today. So they're going to go here. Actually, well, the boots, they're going to be skates. So we're going to start off in Blender. We're going to see how this goes. I want to put Daz away. We're going to come over to bum, bum, bum. What am I doing? I'm doing Blender today. We're going to do a little bit of Blender. I need to find, what did I do with those pictures of skates? I thought I had some right here. I guess not. I'll put my chat back. Roller skates blend. There we go. This is the file that was formerly used for the Safari boots. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Safari boots and we're going to chop them to here, and we're going to add roller skates on the bottom. Because that's more or less what the roller skates are going to be. So I'm kind of lazy that way, not going to lie. And I really liked the way the lacings are on this. So I'm going to be kind of lazy on that. We're going to clean this file up though. because I just got too much crap in here. I do want to keep that. So here, let's just make a new collection called roller skates, and I'm just gonna put everything in there that I want for that. So here we'll do an M in a new collection, and I'm gonna call you roller skates. We'll do that. Create that. So I'm not gonna need those because we're gonna do this. I am gonna keep that Genesis female. So actually, let's move you over into roller skates. Oh, and I should take the laces with this too, right? That would probably be handy. And I want that. And are those eyelets? And I want that. So let's move all of that over to roller skates. Okay, so I need a Genesis 9 in here somewhere. So probably not one in there. So I'm going to delete. I'm going to start cleaning. I'm going to get rid of that. Maybe in here somewhere is a Genesis 9-foot that I can use as the basis. That looks like it. So we're going to keep that one. We'll move that over to roller skates as well. And then I can just get rid of this. And I don't think I need boot base anymore in here. And I'm going to keep roller skate. I'm not sure what that is. I'm pretty sure I can get rid of it. Final. We'll make a new final. Do I want to get rid of that? Yeah, we'll get rid of that. So I think, can I just select all of this and delete it? So I think we're good. I deleted some stuff I needed. Never mind. I'm backing up until I can find out where these eyelets went. There they are. You're there. Are you pulling from something somewhere else, though? You know what? Maybe I should. I think what I'm going to do is export this out and then just bring it back in as an OBJ. And then we can go from there. So here, we'll just do a little export on that. We'll just use the DAS operator preset, which basically selection only is the important part of that. Carhop whip looks good. I'm just going to say 8 base. Because later on, I'm just going to call it skates. Export that. So I think I can just get rid of this. And we could probably lose that and that. And I can probably lose all of those. And get rid of that. And delete that. And I think we're good. So we'll just import back in that boot base. Oh no. It had a sub D on it. All right. We're backing up a little bit. There we go. Oh, it had multi-res. Let's lose the multi-res. Let's try this again. I should import it first and then delete everything else out. Good idea, Chris. That way if I screw up again. So let's check that. Does that got a sub D on it? That does have a sub D on it. We're going to take that off. They're going to take that off. What about you guys? You're arrayed. If I do that, I want to leave that array on. And the curve modifier, it looks good on that. Same thing with that one. So I think I can do this. Okay, now we'll just import in. So I think that's what I want. Let's put you into the roller skate collection. Now I'll try cleaning this up again. So I think we can use those and delete and delete and delete and delete. I think I'm good. Only I seem to have a copies. Let's try this. Let's try the import in again. I think the import was working. That's an export. That's still an export. One of these days I'll actually click the right button. There we go. That's better. Okay, I think so. We're going to start with this. And I'm trying to debate how high I want to go. And let's go get a picture of a roller skate. I thought I was clever and I thought I had one on my desktop, but I don't. Or do I? I don't. I thought I. Oh well. We'll just Google this. I did find these nice details for what's underneath. I've been having a hard time figuring out what these shapes look like in most of the pictures. So I just went to I went looking for skate parts. So so now this gives me a much cleaner idea of what we're going to do when we make our skate. Uh, Vintage roller skate repair. Let's just say vintage roller skate, and then we'll kind of get a feel. Most of these have got those little hooks on the top. And most of these have got a lot more laces than what I'm doing. Not gonna lie, I'm not gonna be totally authentic here. That is kind of tallish though, so maybe those are shorter though. I did have the American Graffiti poster, didn't I? I don't know if I downloaded that or not. Let me see if it's in my downloads. I am not seeing it. Nope. So let's do just to kind of give us an idea of what direction we're trying to head with. One of the American Graffiti pictures does kind of like feature a Carhop on it. Dum 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 dum. Yep, that's my brain stopping. Graffiti poster. Let's go to images. Let's do the tools, enlarge. And open image, new tab. Probably good enough. You know what? I'm gonna just stick you right there. Where did you go? There you are. Anyhow, so this is kind of what we're going for. Those skates are kind of high. So I'm going to kind of favor the high side. Those laces are totally wrong. um, and I'm going to do this apron is an awful lot like the one I just did with the server outfit. So my apron, I think for this one is going to just be a wider in the front. A guest check is a guest check. I'm just going to basically pirate that from the other set. So I think maybe we'll go up to this high here. right through here, and I'll just flatten that out. So we'll just basically, if I just do that, of course you flipped around the wrong way. And we can just do that. Did you come out all the way around? No. What if I do that? I've got a leg in the way. Let's move it. I'm going to have to... That really doesn't even out nicely across there, does it? Maybe I should just do a knife and repair. I am in edit mode. So if we just go to the side here, we'll just switch over to vertex mode. I'm just going to switch on to X-ray. And how high was I going to go again? I think I was going to come up past here. So I think I want my line to, so everything, oops, let's marquee select that. We'll do a box select. And I'm just going to delete everything above there. And then I just have to sort of figure out how to get that into a nice flat shape on these top edges here. We'll go back, so that's in the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab these top points, and then we have a couple of spots we'll kind of fill in. That's the ticket. I think what I should do is maybe do this in baby steps. So maybe like that. And then scale Z. Oh, we'll turn the proportional editing off. Look at that from the front. And so we're going to kind of, and then I'm going to put proportional editing back on with connected only. So I'm going to kind of drag that up like so. And we'll just turn that off. And I'm just going to kind of grab through here, flatten that up. Maybe a little proportional editing on that. I'm going to tweak the fall off a little bit and kind of put you through there. Then we'll just kind of do the same thing through here. Turn that proportional editing off, flatten, do that back on, and kind of just line that up like so. You know what I really want is I kind of want a flat edge on the top of that. So I think once we get this in, we'll just pull it up a little bit. I'm going to have a few nasty tries in there. So maybe I'll just add a row in here. And that can fix through there. You know what? That's actually... And then what? Maybe another little row in here. So that would be 2 rows. So if I do an extrude, pull that up. I'm going to do a little bit of sculpting. Oh, what are you? You're a bad boy. Oh, I probably still had that selected when I did the other one. So you know what? Maybe I'll pull these down a little bit. Here, let's put a little proportional editing on that. And I can maybe do that. And then I'm going to put maybe another one through here. Like that. And then I think I've got a nice like so. And then we're just going to extrude that up. And I'm just going to have one nice neat row at the very top. Although I think I've gone a little high now. So maybe let's fill these in and then we'll do a proportional edit. So we'll just put a fill there, put a fill there, in here. I think I can just do that. Nope, you didn't. What is going on? Oh, I got this little doohickey in here I missed. Row. I totally can't see with that thing. There we go. Now does this fill in? Now that fills in. Okay. And I have 4 that goes to 2. Is there a way to do that? There is actually. I think I can just put one in here. Oh, and then I got, yeah, this works. There we go. And I think I'm just going to pull all of that down with a little proportional editing to get it a little lower. I'm going to use linear on that. And GZ, and I'm actually going to tweak the fall off on that. And that's a bit better, I think. Okay, now I just kind of have to smooth that out. And then we can start thinking about, I'm probably going to shape that toe just a little bit more. Maybe just pull it up a little bit. And then we're going to start thinking about putting this plate on here with the skates. I do need to add a little fake thickness in here. So we have to finish off the top of that. Also, then we can tweak these. I'm going to steal that and slide it down here. So actually, let's pop over and smooth that out real quick. So just pop over here to sculpt mode. I'm going to switch over to, I don't know, we want to do like one of those cool matte cap things. Do I get any? There we go. There's the classic. And then I can just activate a little bit of smoothing. And let's set that to something fairly low because I like to work on. And that kind of takes out some of the goofiness. If I do this, I can kind of also see it. Oops, I didn't want to touch that. That's that line in the back, and that's probably okay. I think that's going to be fine. Maybe a little smoother in there. I don't know. I like the smoothing tool in Blender. It works. I like it a lot more than I like smoothing in ZBrush. So I think that's going to do the trick. I'll probably tweak the eyelet and lace here just a little bit. So I'll Let's go back over to object mode and clean up the laces. Wow, that's a lot of, I'm going to add a whole bunch of little extra cuts in here, I think. But first things first, that is all sharps. So let's clear, actually 2A, and let's just clear sharps on all of that. And then we're just going to delete all of these laces up here. So I'll just kind of box select that and control L of that, delete those off. Delete faces maybe. Why do I still have, oh, I got 2 sets of these. I don't need 2 sets of these. Do I have 2 sets of this stuff? I do not. Okay. And we'll just do the same thing. I'm just going to join those. We'll tab in. Just kind of do that. Control L. Should be able to just delete faces. And then we're just going to take you and slide you down into here. Actually, I think before I do that, I'm going to add a little bit of extra detail into these. They've got really long lines in here, so we're just going to pop in a bunch of extra little, like 2 cuts, 2 cuts, a cut, a cut, a cut. Or I could just delete a bunch of these lines and maybe sub-D it 1 level. Maybe we'll try that. We'll try that. I'm in object mode. Now in edit mode. So can I, you don't go all the way around. Okay. I'm going to hide the rest of the boot because it's just making things hard. And this leg. There we go. That makes it easier for me to see what I want to do. And I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. We're just going to dissolve all of these lines out. And do I have little lines on the sides? I don't, so it's probably fine. So what we're going to end up doing is doing this and dissolve edges. And then we'll just do the same thing here. Only I'm going to zoom in so I can get front and back. 3, 4, 5, and 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dissolve edges. Moving down. Oh, I'm clipping. Let's change that. 0.001. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I think 1, 2. I can't tell where these are. There they are. Dissolve those. Oops. Somebody forgot to hold the shift key down. Doy. So there's little bevels on there that'll help hold the shapes a little bit. At least that's the plan. I think those are good. And somewhere in here. Actually, I probably need to bevel in here. Let's just chuck a sub D on here and see how that's going to go. Generate. That might be okay. And if we put the boot back in, All right, I think that's a good cleanup there. I like that. That's good. That's good. That's going to be fine. All right, now we'll get that other. We'll bring you in. And do I want to clean you up first? Do you have a bunch of? You see, you have the same issues, so we're going to do the same thing. 2A. Let's clear all the sharps. Let's do that, and I'm just going to try to. Oh, that one funny. Is that going to give me a real? Yeah, it's going to give me a. You know what? It's this. I'm going to take these caps off and we'll put them back on. Or, you know, we can just hide those, right? Do I have a Control L? Nope. If I just do that and hide it, and then I got to do the other side just to make sure. I have no idea why you are the wrong materials. I'll have to remember to reassign those. And we'll just hide that. So now, oh, I think I need those for these eyelets though, don't I? That's right, because the eyelets are doing. So we're not going to do that. We're just going to maybe put another level of subdivision on there. I'm just going to do Alt H. Okay, those need to be part of the whatever you call it. There's a technical name for those, right? Aglets. Those are part of the aglets. The things on the end of your shoelaces. Let's put a sub-D modifier on that. And we might end up doing 2 layers like the rest of it. Probably good. Now we're just going to slide that. It needs to kind of be right in here. So, you know, let's just do it in here. So you're going to end up right about in there. I think I'm on the inside now. Pull you up a little bit. Yeah, that's the ticket. All right, I gotta fix this too, don't I? So we're happy with that. At some point, we'll add a level of subdivision to this as well. So you know what? I'll just do that right now. Bum, bum, bum. Subdivision surface. So that's going to end up looking kind of like that. That looks like it needs a little. What is going on here? Oh, I know. It's just the way so after we apply, that's just bleeding over because of the subdivision. I probably need to put a hard crease in there or something to keep that from happening. Like that. Missed. Yeah, that'll be good. And then likewise, it probably should apply crease along this edge, right? If I can select it right there, maybe. Nope. Oh no, I really want the one that dips down, doesn't it? Probably good for right now. All right, let's clean that up. Let's go take a look at roller skate pictures again. I think I am going to have them stick up a little high. Actually, some of these get taller in the front than they do in the back. I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy. Or maybe I should. Maybe that would add a little extra. So if we take this, and maybe we can just drag it down and give it a little bit more shape. Through here. And we'll just do proportional editing. And we'll just move that down. Let's get a... Well, I can move that down a little bit. Maybe we'll move the front up a little. No, I don't want to move the front up because I don't want to get too high above those two eyelets there. So I think maybe we'll just pull it down a little bit and give it a little bit of yeah. We'll try some different ways of doing that. We'll try smooth first and see what that does. And what am I doing? G, Z. So we can kind of do, maybe kind of do that. Oh, I want to do, you know what, that does give me kind of a nice little touch to it, but maybe I'm thinking, so if we do a sharp instead of that, nope, let's go the other way. Let's try a sphere. See, I like that little touch on the end. No, I'm not really liking that. Never mind. Maybe we just use... Yeah, I kind of like that. We'll go with that. That adds a nice little level detail. Okay, let's... And then we're going to kind of round the tongue out a little bit. First, we're going to flatten it up. So if I just do that... I think I want to smooth it out just a little bit, too. Oh, I've still got the proportional editing on. Doy. So here, let's select just the tongue. Do I have something that says tongue? I do. There we go. And let's switch to that, and let's just Shift H and hide everything else. And I'm just going to go ahead and hide those and the eyelets. And I just kind of want to smooth those out just a little bit. So we'll just pop over sculpt mode. And I do want to see the wireframe because I just want to just relax that a little bit. And we do want a little bit more curve in there. So, you know, let's bring everything else back. And let's turn that back onto there. But I don't want to see all the way through. And we'll go into line mode. I'm just going to grab those two. And we're just going to play around. I've got connected only on. And I just want to kind of do that. All right, how are we looking on the foot? So I'm a little tight in there. I think now we're ready to just add some thickness to all of this stuff at the top and maybe a little bit of depth on the inside. So I think what we're going to do is maybe grab part of the top, duplicate it, shrink it in a little bit, and then connect it. And we'll give that, do I have a liner material in here? I don't, but I will. Bum, 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 bum. Maybe down to through here and through here. And we'll just kind of come down like that. Undo those and add these. And I'm going to take these off. Probably going to end up deleting these. And then rebuilding. I'm going to delete some of these and then rebuilding. That's what we're going to do. I didn't want to do that. I'll just do them baby steps. All right. So Shift D. Scale, but not Z. So we're going to do that. We're going to flip the normals so they point to the inside. And then I'm going to attach this to this. That's the plan. So I'm going to delete these out. I'm not sure how far to go. Bump, 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 faces. At some point, I should actually, let's get the liner material in here so I can tell what I'm doing. It's not actually going to be liner. It's going to be more like rough leather. Oh, no, I'm going to cancel. I did that wrong. There we go. And then Control L. And assign. That way I can see what I'm working with. This one I don't really need to see, but I am going to make that liner anyhow. Now that I can see what I'm doing, I know how far to come down here. And delete faces. There we go. And then I can just kind of do the same thing over here. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is we'll attach that to that. We're going to pop in the vertex mode for just a quick second here. M at last. Excellent. I also want to do the same thing over on this side. M at last. And then I think I can just, no, that's not happening. Why not? Well, it's probably because it's loose. So if I do that, now will it work? Yes. Okay. Excellent. Oops. I got a weird gap there. That's okay. We'll fix that later. Excellent. I'm going to just put a face in here. And then we'll just fill that in across till we get over to right there. And then I'm going to put a split in the middle of that. And then we can fill these in. One, oops. Come on. Shift G. What the hell? Suddenly my keys aren't working. Why is my suddenly my controls got frozen? That was annoying. There we go. All right, fill that, and then I think I can fill that, right? We do the same thing over here. Fill that, fill that. And here, can I just do, is this going to work? Can I just bridge you? I'm looking for bridge edge loops. Yeah. Oh, you didn't go all the way down here, though. And did I go down the sides here? Nope. There we go. We'll try that. Nope. I got something selected in there that I didn't want. We'll try this again. I apparently still had... I don't know. Did I accidentally click something I shouldn't have? I can't tell. What in the world? Oh, you're connected. I see. All right, we'll just hide everything. Because I can't see what I'm doing. That's because this is sewn down here. That was my problem. Doy. Let's try this. Let's select the liner. Let's select the tongue. Let's hide everything else so I can just work on this. So what I can do is I think I can just boink, fill that in. And then does that. There it comes around. There we go. All right, now I've got the thickness on there. All right, let's crease some stuff up. I've got a nice round shape on that. I think we're good on that. So we're going to adjust the creasing on this. And you got a little funny. That's okay. Tab. Actually, let's come back to object mode. Then we pop into edit mode. And then I'm just going to, then we pop into edit mode. Edit mode. We'll put a crease on that. I'm going to, dang it, zip in here. I got some weirdness in here. We're gonna maybe, or maybe not. I know what I'm going to do. I'll just drag you that way. What are you? There. Can't say I'm crazy about this. I got a leg in the way still. And I gotta turn the the subdivision off on this boot because I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to smooth this out. So I think maybe I'll take that way a little bit. And then I'm just going to maybe take you that way as well. And if we come through here, can I maybe run a relax on that? And then we'll just do the same thing over here. Like that. Yep, that is so much nicer looking. I'm going to tweak you just a little bit. I probably... I should probably make some strange adjustments. You know what I should do is I probably should just weld that onto that. And maybe we'll actually move you over here, move you here, weld you to here. I think that's going to be preferable. Merge at last. And I think I'm just going to dissolve this out. And then what I'm going to do is slide this into here for the nice neat line. Actually, we can do that with the G stretch, right? And then we'll assign these. So that I'm going to uncrease. This is going to get my crease. And we're going to assign these polys to the whatchamacallit, boot, not boot. There's the other boot back. There we go. All right, now I'm going to just do the same thing over here. So now that I know what I'm doing, so that comes over here. That's actually in a good spot already. I'm just going to merge that to last. I'm probably just going to cheat that over just a little bit. Just so that it's not too ugly. And then we're just going to dissolve this out. And I think that's going to be fine. I could... Actually, let me put that back like that. No, I really don't like that. Yeah. I think I'm just going to cheat this in just a little bit. I hate having polys with a straight side, a line, a point in the middle of a straight side. I don't know how bad it really is. It's just it gets so close to then being convex. I don't like that. Dissolve edges, and I think I'm good. Okay, I still have to do some creasing along here. And I don't know how far down, maybe through here. All right, let's put the subdivision back on and see how we're looking. I'm probably okay. I want to tweak the front of that boot. We are going to get to the skates today. I just want to maybe bring you up just a little bit. I got a little proportional editing. Let's just sneak back to smooth. let's just put that. I'm not seeing my tools. We'll do that so I can see that. And I just want to bring you, I want the shape to be a little bit different than what I currently have. And I think maybe we'll just go all the way across like that. And then bring that up. So I kind of like that for this. So we're getting there. All right, I think I'm in a good spot. Okay, the feet still fit. Laces and my eyelets are all looking good. So there's the base boot. I think I am going to call that good. I might tighten that up. Actually, I have to get pants fitted into this. So let's pull that tongue out a little bit farther. I think we come from here to here maybe. And I got a little proportional editing going on. And I'm just going to maybe just kind of do that. That gives me a little bit more extra room in there, I think. And I should be able to then tuck the pants into that. I may or may not add fake socks with this. Probably not. I'm probably going to get lazy and skip socks. You're a little off. Why are you a little off? Because I moved the tongue too much. So let's do this again. And this time I'm paying attention to not... See, I'm clipping through the lace right there. So we'll change our... Yo, Lund, how are you doing? They are colorful right now. Yep. it's it's the way most of my stuff looks kind of like when I'm working on it. I think I'm going to switch you to linear. Oops, now I'm starting to poke through again. Okay, now I think I'm good. Texture zones. Exactly. I Well, it's going to be surfaces in DAZ, right? I mean, and then I'm going to also, and this is what I use to make the ID maps for substance with too. So I might as well, do I have a material for that? I might as well give these obnoxious colors too. Maybe not that color because that's the lace color, isn't it? No, the laces don't have their own color. No. We can fix that. You should say whatever you are. What are you? Laces 4. Let's make you laces 4. Actually, let's make it laces. And let's fix this so that you can tell how much I've been working. It just keeps, every time I make a new material with the same name, or I bring in an object with that, it just adds extra numbers to it. And since I imported this in, here's aglet. I'll make you laces. You'll switch you to tongue. I don't know what fabric is. Do I have a fabric in here? That's definitely looks like it's left over from... you know what, I should turn on the statistics, and that says nothing got selected, so I don't even need that. Let's tab out and get rid of that. All right, back boot. Let's clean that up. Boot. So I should probably change all of these to skate underscore something something. I might do that in Daz. Tongue is good. Heel should say just heel. Boot upper. Insole. Sole edge. And liner. Okay. So I've cleaned all of that up. I'm ready to start adding the skate part, I think. Oh no, I gotta change the eyelet color, don't I? And one, we're gonna change your name to eyelet, and we'll just give you your own color. Here, we'll do that. All right, let's take a look at our skate pictures again. I think we're gonna put a big. That's right, we're shopping for skates. I don't like that. I am in images. What are you? Pre-owned roller derby skates. That might do. God dang it. Over on the eBay. Do I get any good pictures of the... Nice box. I'm going to look at another one. I'm not quite getting the view I need here. Did I not choose images? What the frick? Take a look at that. And I want one with a stop on the front because I believe that's what they were. I think in American Graffiti they had stops on the front. I'm loosely basing a Carhop off of American Graffiti. I always say loosely because it gives me the freedom to say, you know, I don't like that detail. I'm not doing that. This gives me a good. No, stop trying to sell. I don't have enough laces. I know that. I'm cheating. I think that kind of gives me a feel for what I'm looking for. So I think basically we're going to take one of these and just put it on the bottom. And we have our roller skate plates. So we're just going to go with something, maybe something kind of like that. I should build out. We should actually add the wheels. Let's go check. Uh, let's go see how big wheels actually are. 57 millimeters. Exactly the thing I'm kind of looking for. Um, 65 millimeters. Is that what I want? Maybe 65 millimeters. We'll try 65 millimeters and we'll see what they look like. So, you know how this works. This is a cylinder. I think I'm going to build it straight and then we'll put it onto the shoe. because the shoe is like at a slight angle here, and it's just going to be easier to work straight for a little while. So anyhow, where am I? I'm in object mode. I'm going to just do an old Shift A and mesh and a cylinder, and I think I'm going to start at a 16, although we'll subdivide that probably a couple of times. What did we say? 65. So I'm going to say 32.5. Oh, I think 0.0325. And the depth, I'll say 0.1 for now. Does that look too big? So if I go to 57, that's like 25.27. No, 0.027. I think I'm going to go with that. And I'm just going to eyeball that in. Take a look. Let's take a look at our vintage skate. You're not the good vintage skate. I don't like you. Those are wooden. You know what? It's got just basically a hex nut on it, doesn't it? That's a different pair of skates. Or that's the skates with new wheels. I'm just gonna does this have a better, there we go. I'm going with that. There's a little interesting detail in here. I'm going to ignore that. So we're going to put a little bevel here. We'll do an inset. We'll go in. We'll go in. I'll stick a hex in here. So we're going here. We're going to go kind of like, we'll do it on this side. And this side, I'm just going to, here, let's do this. So I'm just going to put a bevel there. And I'm just going to do a little bit of an inset like that. I still have proportional editing on. Let's turn that off. And just going to scale that a little bit. Probably good. Do I want a grid fill or do I just want to do, you know what? I think I'm just going to do this. Oh no, all those tries at the center. it'll be fine. I'll put a rough bevel on. We'll put a chamfer on that. All right, we'll do the same. We'll put a little chamfer on that. And then we'll just work the detail in on this. So this is the one. So I'm just going to do that. And we'll just do a little like so. Inset and inset and inset and inset and inset. And then extrude. And then we're just going to put a nut on top of that. I'm just going to do a little inset and pull. And then I'm just going to actually, you know what? I'm just going to do this. You're a little smaller than I want, actually. I want you like that. And I'm just going to do a little inset like that and pull you in just a little. And then another little, dang it, I lost it. And another little inset like that. Verge at the center. Let's just pull you in just a hair like that. Then I'm just going to put a nut on that, and I'm probably going to set that in a little bit further. All right, let's add a little detail in here. We're going to put a little notch in there, and we're going to pull this out just a little bit. Those are these lines right in here. Missed. Let's try that again. Got it. And then I can just do that. And then here, you can just pull you out a little bit and run a little bit of a bevel on those edges. Oops. I want to redo that. Kind of like that. Where's my freaking cursor? I can't see. All right, there. You know, actually, that should be part of this. So I think maybe we'll just put a hole in here. And we'll push it out. And so I have to, I'm going to delete this out then. We'll just match that up. Changed my mind. Oops. Did I not control L? Why are you not? Oh, for crying out loud. Where's my... Oh, I got extra vertices or something in here. How obtuse. All right. Switch to that, and I'm just going to do... I could have bridged those faces too. It'll probably be fine. You know what? I think I want that maybe to be a little bit wider. Scale, but not on the X. There, I'll just do that. And let's see, let's put a level of subdivision on here. Bum, 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 bum. Generate subdiv. All right, we're going to add some creases. I'm just going to add, you know what, we're just going to do that. Do this. Tab in. I can't see what I'm doing. I don't know. I think I'll just do that. Crease those. Crease that. Crease those. Maybe can't see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm going to call that my wheel. So we'll start with that. Let's give you a material that says wheel and wheel hub. I probably should put a wheel hub in on the backside too. And we'll make the whole interior section of the wheel hub. Yeah, all right, let's add materials. Since we're here, we'll also set up the UV mapping. I think. I said materials. Click. Skate wheel. So I'm going to start calling everything skate. Skate wheel. So we start with that. Dang it, did you not? Oh, because I did it I did the wrong thing again. I keep clicking in here instead of where I need to be. Skate wheel. Skate wheel hub. We'll start with that. And did I bleed through the other side? I did, but just the right way. There we go. Skate wheel and skate wheel hub. All right, let's UV map this. I think I'm going to put a seam. Let's turn the x-ray off. I had the x-ray off. Never mind. Let's put a seam there. Put a seam there. I want a seam, I think, right in there. And then over here, we'll kind of do the same thing. Seam there, and a seam right about there. I think that's going to be good. I should turn off back that off. Yeah, let's mark a seam there. And I just mark a seam here. Let's see how this is looking. Yeah, that looks about right. All right, we're good. Bum, 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 bum. Back over to here. Where did these go? One is right under the heel. And another one's going to come up over in here. Shift D. Probably in there. So, and we'll adjust it like that. All right, let's block out the plate. It's going to go under there. I think I'm going to start with this, with a cube on that one. Maybe like that. Start like that. Okay, here's where we take a look at these things and try to figure out what I want to do. Until I find, you know what, I'll just find the easy one to make. It's got a little bit of a curve in it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to like model half of it, and then we'll flip it around and we'll pull the front end out of that. Good plan, Chris. And then I might give it a little bit more boot shape, although that is kind of rounded off a little bit in the front back. We'll touch that up later. I'm going to just drop this in Sure Grip. I'm going to drop this in the blender and just try to maybe use it as kind of just a rough guide. So here, can I do, is it chip day? Where is it? Where am I looking for? I'm in mesh because I am in edit mode. Let's get out of edit mode. I should not have duplicate. Yeah, all right. I'm now in object mode. There, I can do shift A, image, reference. I am looking for a Sure Grip on my desktop. There we go. Scale, 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 scale. Let's rotate you RX 180. And scale, 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 scale. And G. I'm going to roughly. We're almost there. Roughly like that. Maybe a little smaller. Okay, where's my cube? There you are. We like that. Get a little x-ray going on here. So I'm going to bring you back to here. We're going to pull the middle of you out. Actually, let's chop you in half so we just do the classic. And I'm just going to remove that face there. If I can find you. There we go. And then we'll just drop a mirror modifier on here. Generate mirror. You think after all these years I would remember that, but nope, not yet. All right, let's put a cut in here. Bring you over there. Let's extrude that. Kind of like so. Let's hide some stuff. So I got an extra face in here, don't I? Right about there. And let's go and do... I am an x-ray. I'm in object mode. Now I'm in edit mode. It says I'm in x-ray mode, but I can't see. There's X-ray. What the farfignugan? Anyhow, I guess I'm gonna need a cut there. And then I'm going to want to cut right there. I'm going to want one here. And I'm going to need one more right about in there. So I'm going to put you here. You're going to come over to here. You're good. I need a little one right there. Yo, I'm only a big child. How are you doing, buddy? I'm making a roller skate. We're working on a Carhop outfit, actually. So since it's a Carhop, loosely based on American Graffiti, we're making roller skates. I'm okay. Well, I guess that's better than dead. I'm not dead yet. Maybe tomorrow. We'll give this a little bit of shape. I think I'm going to pull these front faces off because I'm just going to flip this around and then just connect the two. All right, let's add a little bit of detailing. I think I'm going to put a bevel. Yeah, let's start putting bevel lines on here that we're going to need for later. Through here. I want one through here. Kind of like that. And then I think probably through here. There. And you know what I probably should have? I'm going to back up just a little bit here. Actually, I'm going to bevel that all the way through like that. Then I'm going to add a couple right there. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup because I just made some 5-sided polys at last. Now I've got some tries, but that's okay. I think it'll be fine. I think I've got some weird... I'm probably good here. You did not use roller skates for a decade. You sprained both ankles with the viewing. Oh no. Haven't done a lot of roller skating to tell you the truth. As a kid, I remember the ones you used to strap to your shoes. I know my mom had those where you would they would adjust and they would clip over your heel and tow your shoe. We actually had those as a kid. I never actually owned roller skates like this. I may have gone skating once or twice in my life back in the 80s or the 70s. I think this is good. I think I'm going to dupe this, flip it, make sure my normals are good for the front part. I think actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this back, give me a little bit more room to work with. A, Shift D. So we're going to slide that way. I'm going to scale on the y-axis. Well, that's going to turn my normals nasty, and then we're just going to flip that. So scale Y. Oops, I'm going to do that again. I'm no more able to roller skate since... Oh, you just can't. Is that it? Well, bummer, because it sounds like you wanted to, actually. Scale Y -1. There we go. 3. I think I have to do the mesh normals flips, but let's double check. Let's turn on the thing that shows the face orientation. I think I'm fine. How am I looking here? Now I can come into here. So that kind of has to line up over there. And then I want to pull some stuff out so I can put that front. So I can add a front thingamajob. The toe stop. So I think I get to extrude this a couple of times. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. I probably should have built that out before the beveling. Actually, you know what? I think we're just going to pull this stuff. Yeah, I'm just going to extrude all of that, and then I can chop it up a little bit. Let's do that. Clicky, 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 click. Have I got everything I want? I think so. So I'm just going to hit an extrude. And we'll just kind of pull that out there, and I'll try to get that into a shape. I think I can put a loop cut in here. And I probably have some extra polys on the inside now, but that's okay. You know, this shading is kind of bothering me now. That's better. I'm going to look at this from the front. If I've got any faces in here, I'm going to get rid of them because they don't need to be there. Multiple injuries in a short time might not have been good for tendons and muscles. Oh, and not seeing a doctor. That never helps. If you can afford it, see a doctor. All right, back to... Am I in? I'm in edit mode and I can't see the thing again. Is it just because? Oh, I see. There we go. I'm going to slide you back here and over here. I think, dang it, I keep grabbing the, I think I'm going to pull you out that way a little bit. I think I'm going to want to pull these in like so. I want to pull that out. It's kind of a complex shape, but I'm not getting it right. You know what? I think I'm going to cheat it. I'm just going to get that front angle about right and not worry too much about... I think maybe I will just pull... Now I'm worrying about it again. What do I got going on over here? Oh, I see. Oh, when I pull that over, I should pull those over kind of like that together. I think I'm going to do that, and then I'll just put a stop on that. I need to tweak this. I'm not happy with this. I'm just going to run a cut through here. Can I just merge? Now I'm just in the tweaking the shape. No, I needed to keep that flat. Never mind. I'm just going to do that. All right, let's fix this gap in the middle here. And then I'm going to start, and I think that's going to be, and then I'll adjust that a little bit. That's going to be the base plate, and then I have to just add these things. I am going to Ford today. Since you live in Germany, you could have visited a doctor without thinking twice. Oh, you just wasn't aware. Damn it. It doesn't impact me in daily life unless you try to skate. Yeah. So it's not the sort of thing that is impairing your quality of life other than the fact you can't skate. So it's not like you want to go out and have surgery or something, try to get it fixed at this point. Let's bridge those. Am I looking at bridge? I haven't select bridge. I think I'm going to put a sub D on here and start smoothing things out. Do I have an extra? I got an extra line in here I don't think I need through here. I think I'm just going to dissolve that out. And then I'm just going to merge these points out. Let's do it this way. I'm going to merge them to that point right there. And I can kind of adjust that. Maybe bring you in a little bit. Actually, let's put you back there. And then maybe I can just pull that out a little. That's probably going to be fine. So what if we put a, if I put clipping on here, and if we add the sub D modifier on here now, generate subdivision surfaces, and then I'm going to need to do some creasing. And if we shade smooth, these I'm happy with. I think I just need to run some crease in here. And I need to get that kind of flatter. And I can't see what I'm doing with that sub D on. So I think we'll just kind of maybe crease that. And crease those. So that's kind of flat on the front. And I think I'm ready to now start building these parts out. It can be difficult to walk on different terrain, but walking on pavement or streets, yeah, well, yeah. I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to mark my UVs on it. And do I want to go ahead and apply the mirror? I'm going to leave it like that for right now. I'm going to mark a seam there. I'm going to go ahead and mark a seam here. I'm going to mark a seam. Yeah, mark a seam there. I want to mark a seam through here. If I just, yes, they're gonna attach to these. We've got our shoe right here that they're going to go with. So basically I'm kind of doing a car hop loosely based off of American Graffiti. So I'm trying to make kind of a vintage looking roller skate here. So this will go on here, but right now it's just easier for me to model it nice and straight because my boot is at a slight angle, just a little bit. And also I'm doing it in the center because I can just mirror the detail from one side to the other right now. So it's going to be a full. The plate will attach to the bottom of the boot, and it's just going to be one of those full. It's not like the old clip styles. Um, I'm not sure if that made any sense. And I think I'm going to run a seam through here. And then I'll just double check and see how that's looking for UV mapping. I should probably mark a seam there. All right, let's take a look at this. Oops, I don't know. What am I doing there? Mark a seam. Let's go over to UV editing. 3AU. Unwrap minimum stretch. That did not. I've got something attached right there. Let's see where that is. It's back in here. Something in here doesn't have a seam. Maybe right there. Yep, you see it right there. Mark a seam right there. Now let's try this again. That's better. I still have a one right there. What are you? I marked you as a seam. What the hell? There we go. That's better. All right. Let's start working these. I'm just gonna let's just make actually those hexes. I should make a hex shape. That's a hex, a cylinder, and a hex. And I do need a hex for here. This thing is going to be a little awkward to make, so and I need a little cylinder put in here. So let's object mode, shift A, mesh, cylinder, 16, tab, scale on the Z, and scale, 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 scale. Here, let's just add a little, I'll just put a little bevel on that like that. And we'll just do this thing. And I don't need that. Okay, I'm going to line this. This is a little gasket back in here. So that's going to end up like that. Now I need a You know what? I'm going to go ahead and knock out this hex. I'm going to just make a generic hex shape. So let's tab out. We're going to do a cylinder, but this is just going to have 6 parts to it. There it is. So over here, we're just going to say 6 for this one. That's going to be my hex nuts. And then I'm going to just tab in and scale that down. Maybe like that. And then like that. And I am going to put a hole on one side so I can stick this thing through it. Do I want to just bevel everything? Kind of like that. I do need some extra geometry in here though to make these circular. I should have done both of those at the same time, like this. So here, let's do that. We're going to do a sub D, but we're going to do the other kind. There's an option here. We'll generate subdivision surfaces. I'm going to say simple so that it doesn't do any weird curving. I think that's good. Then I'm going to apply that. Then we pop in here and we've got all our extra geometry. Are those still, you know what, I'm going to group. Can I just bridge those like that? And then we can loop tools and make circles out of those. And I'm just going to add a little bevel to that. And that's going to be my nut shape. I'm going to UV map this too because I'm trying to be good. Oh, you didn't get beveled on the bottom, did you? There we go. And then mark seam there. I didn't mark a seam up here. Dang it. Mark seam there. Mark seams there. And then what we'll do is we'll put a seam right there. You know what? I'm just going to... And I need a seam right there. I'm going to split on both sides. I don't think I have to do it. Here, let's see how this works. I didn't mark that seam yet. What I don't want is I don't want it to be too big, so mark seam. And now let's take a look at how this is 3AU unwrap. Yeah, I like that. That's going to be good. And then I'm just going to use that for all my nuts. So, you know, I'm going to do a Shift G, and we'll do that. I'm going to add this to the cylinder parts later. So actually, I think we'll just do that. I'm going to put the little cylinder thing in here. Then I'm going to copy those together and rotate them into place. I also do need one of these for the ends of the wheels. So we'll stick that off to the side. And then we'll do a Shift A mesh cylinder. And I'm going to roughly make this. And we'll go back to 16 on that. And I'm just going to finish off both of these ends. Let's tab in. Let's select that and that and put a little bevel on it. Yeah. Oh, that should say nut, and this should say metal and rubber. You know that's going to be, I'm going to say metal 01. You're going to be metal 02. I think I'll make you metal 03. And then rubber and rubber. Something like that. And you know what? Those nuts in there, you're not going to be able to see these center parts. So I think I'm just going to delete them and leave them open. All right, now I'm just going to add a little bit of a detail in here. Let's do that. Let's do this. Control Shift F. So we're going to, is it Control F? Extrude faces along normals. And we'll just take that in just a little bit. Excellent. And then I'm just going to select these two. Pull them apart a little bit. So that just gives me that little bit of detail in there. And nope, I'm in the wrong thing. There we go, plus. Skate. Skate rubber. That. I'm just going to make you skate rubber as well. And in here, that's going to be, what did I say? Do I want that to be the same? Maybe just metal. Just, if I need another metal later, I'm just going to say metal 01 in case I want to do a metal 02 later on. So do that, do this, skate, metal 01. And I'm going to assign that. And you know what? I'm going to switch over to here where I can see colors. And I don't know, make those both. I might change my mind on that, but for right now, I think we're going to do that. I'm going to put you down into here. Maybe make you a little bit larger. Maybe a little shorter. There's another nut somewhere in here that I want. You know what? Maybe I'm just going to go ahead and join all of these. Nope, I gotta UV map this part. Almost forgot that. So let's put a seam here, seam here, seam here, and a seam here. And I'm just going to run a seam through here and deselect those two. And I can't see what I'm doing. Wah, wah, wah. And I think missed. Deselect, missed. There we go. And mark seam that. Looking good. All right, now we can go back to joining these together. Did I not make... Oh, you guys got to be... we'll get you in a minute. Control J. I want to add a little bit more geometry right into here. And now I'm going to assign those to skate metal. Did I not hit the assign? Did I not say 3, Control L, assign? I did. Did it get assigned? No. It didn't get completely assigned. There we go. That's better. No. Control L. No. So I'm going to pull you up just like that. You're looking good, though. You're good. All right, let's line you up. Probably too big. Scale 0.9. Is that what I want? Scale 0.8. I think that's going to be good. I'm going to tweak that a little bit so that it fits this a little bit better. And then I got to do that over there. So scale 0.8. I think I'm going to grab these. Oh, I'm still excellent. That's pretty good. Probably okay. I probably should stick something in here. That's okay, we can fix it. Control L. Gonna hide that for a minute. Oops. I keep forgetting Control L doesn't get the whole thing. There we go. Probably okay. How does this look when we bring the nut back? Yeah, I think that'll do. Although I need to, once again, I'm going to need some seams in here. And where is that one that went down the back? There it is. Excellent. It'll probably be fine. Alt H. Probably looking good. Now I just have to add this brackety thing with the axle-y thing. Let's get the axle-y thing in here first. That's the easy part. Shift A, once again with the cylinder. Do I have an option for the caps in here? Cap fill. Triangle fan, we'll do that. So, bum, bum, bum. Let's look at you from the front. ARY90. Dang it. ARY90. Scale, 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 scale. Scale that way. I should probably, I don't know. Where's the wheel? Wheels on the bus go round and round. Yeah, you're gonna. I got another wheel over here, right? You should be maybe a little bit bigger. Will the wheels be able to spin? Yeah, I'm gonna set them up to be able to spin. Or am I? I may not make them. You know what? I think maybe I'll just make them separate props and we can put them on there and then they can be spun. I think that's probably the easiest thing to do. Oh, hold on a second. Okay, I'm back for just a minute. I know I'm going to leave the camera off for just a second here. I'm going to do a couple of little things and then I'm in the middle of making some food real quick on stream. How gauche. What the hell's wrong with you, Chris? Here, we're going to do that. I'm going to tweak the end of that a little bit. I think I'm going to just nudge you in just a little bit. Take this down into about here. We're going to put a nut on that. I have a nut. We got a nut. We're going to rotate that nut. RY90. And then I'm going to just kind of line that up on the end of that. I might take these in. I got to take a look at how this stuff all lines up. Of course I missed. You know what? That's probably going to be fine. All right, I'll be right back. All right, all right. I'm back. I'm back. I think. Am I on? I can't see. Where's my OBS when you need it? There I am. All right, we're good. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I see you. I see. Looks like me. We're getting there. Um, you know what? I'm just gonna call you Metal One because I'm lazy that way. And let's just quickly UV map that before I forget. Mark a seam there, and mark a seam there. And oh, I didn't. You know what? I'm gonna mirror this. So here, let's put that on to 0. Am I not? Oh, sorry. Hmm. Suddenly the indigestion's trying to kill me. Um. All right, let's do the hard part. This thing. Let's go ahead and hide that. Hide that. Hide that. Come into here. So I'm trying to think. I think I'm going to start with a cylinder. And I'm going to also take part of that and turn it sideways because I think this comes out and kind of loops around here, right? So here, let's start with a Shift A and a cylinder. And I don't know, where did you go? Where are you, Mr. Cylinder? Oh, I'm in edit mode. That's my problem. All right. All right, now I'm good. Okay, we are in object mode. Now I can shift A, create a cylinder. Do I want to triangle fill? I, not really. I'm not going to do that on this one. I'll just end on that. Or I can say nothing. Let's just say nothing on that. There we go. Let's am I in edit mode? I'm not in edit mode. Let's go into edit mode. Tab into edit mode. You know what? I'm going to do a Shift D. Bring that over there. I'm going to get rid of half of. We're going to get rid of a bunch of parts of this thing here. So I don't need any of those. That was faces. Let's maybe try vertices. I don't need those vertices. Am I in? I am not in X-ray. Damn it. Get rid of those vertices. Oops. Okay, so that's going to end up coming through here. So that's going to look kind of like that. Although you probably, yeah, because I'm just going to scale you. Because you kind of line up like that. Probably good. Except maybe we'll put you up here. I think maybe I'm going to make this squattier. So I'll bring you into about here. And then this part here. So that's going to go around this axis here. There we go. And actually, that's going to kind of line up in about there. And then we'll move the wheel down a little bit, I think. Once I get this blocked out, there's going to be a lot of tweaking to just get it right. And then I want that at 0, right? And then somehow I want to connect this to this. So actually this has a part that's going to come out like so. I'm going to need a couple of cuts in here. One that's going to line up kind of like that. One is going to come into here. So I want part of this to come up into here. You know what? I think I'm going to put a loop through there. And I'm thinking these pieces here. So I'm just going to pull that up kind of like this way. And then we're going to connect them to these. This is a little crooked. I think I could fix that just a little bit. Kind of like that. I can flatten that. We'll do that. Flatten. Same thing here. And I'll just make sure that center line's also setting flat. Now I can do some sliding. So I'm going to pull that point out there, that point there. We'll do a little G stretch to put those into a nice straight line. Whoops. We'll try that again. Nice. And then I'm just going to connect that to there. Merge. Merge. Whoops. I missed. My merging's going a little weird, isn't it? Oh, I know what it is. Here, we'll do it this way. Oh, I need you over here. Can I subdivide you? Excellent. Now I can do some merging to last. And I can do the same thing here and here. And I need a, you know what? I needed a extra. Can I still extrude and bring those out? Yes, I can. And then subdivide those two lines. Something in here should say subdivide right there at the very front. And I've got some extra faces in here I don't need, so let's get rid of those. Oops. I think I deleted a face that I needed. Yeah. Oh, you ended up being a... Dang it. Oh, I don't need a merge in there, do I? Those I don't need. Those I do want. Those I don't need. And actually, no, I don't need you, do I? And then I can do the merging at last on these ones. There we go. Now I just have to figure out a way to fill these in. I don't need a line there. I do want one there. That was the wrong thing. Can I grid fill that? Maybe if I add an extra 1, 2, 3, 4. Or actually, if I take this way and this becomes a... Yeah, let's try that. Maybe let's just try grid filling it. Let's see what that does. That didn't go all the way around, damn it. That did. Okay, now can I face? I can never see what I'm looking for. That did not work. Okay. I can do this the hard way then. And then I can just subdivide and subdivide and subdivide and subdivide. So I think I'm good here. Oh, can I just do that? I don't know. I have a feeling that that's going to be dangerous. I should hide that other. So I'm going to redo that. Make sure that I had that line right there selected when I do it. Excellent. All right, now we'll just kind of do the same thing down here. And then just fill those in. There we go. So that's that part. Now I need a part that's going to come off here for this. And you come out of here and part of out of here. And you're going to come over here. So I think I'm going to put a cut in here and pull up these faces. I got another cylinder in the way. You know, you're the one I wanted to keep. And then I'm just going to kind of pull those out and kind of shape them, give them a little bit of a rounder shape to go into this over here. So to do that, I think I'm going to add an extra cut right there. And then we're just going to select all of these. Hey, hola, it's Mr. Atherin. How you doing, buddy? I wish I could half circle this. Oh, I have an idea. This is going to work. So I don't need any of these. We will mirror this. I'm not mirroring it right now, which is actually going to kind of be convenient. And then what I'm going to do is let's just pull arg. There we go. No, not from there to there. No. Dang it. I'm just going to select these one at a time if I can. Like that. And then just pull that out like so. Then I think we're just going to flatten these and then circle them up and then reorient them. So scale Z, Y, kind of like that. Loop tools, circle. Well, that didn't come out as clean as I was hoping. Let's tweak that. Can I just, I probably should just pull you out this way. Oh, and then circle you. That's what it is. Excellent. Yeah, there we go. I don't need those faces in there, but I'm going to leave them for right now. We're getting there. We're making a roller skate. There. And then I'm going to adjust these. So I'm trying to make a shape that's going to look kind of like that thing right there. It's hard to see what it is, so it's making things fun. I think that's going to work. I'm going to hide the cube. And then I'm just going to manually just kind of do stuff like this. That going to kind of, you know what, that kind of does the trick, I think. I have some other, there we go. So I don't need, so now I'm going to straighten this up, and I think that's going to, oh, I still have to finish off this cap over here and add a little bit of beveling details. But we don't need these, so I can just delete all of that off. And I probably can get by without those because we're just going to bury that inside. So all of this stuff, I'm just going to make sure that's that there. We put you at 0 like that. Probably fine. And then I'm going to maybe pull you out a little bit. All right, let's finish off this. So let's do an extrude. Let's do an extrude and a scale. And a pull out a little bit. Then an extrude and a scale. This is probably going to be an extrude and a scale. And I think I'll just slide you back like that. And that's probably going to be good on this. Let's put a obnoxious little bevel through here. And through here. That's going to give me these nasties down here. So I think I'm going to fix these. So we're just going to bring you there. Maybe bring you there. And you know what? I'm just going to turn you into an ugly try. Or I can just add a, you know what? I'm just going to add a loop in here that I can fix that with. I need to do a little kniffy. Okay. And now I can kind of fix those up. So what did I do over here? I did that 1, 2, 3 to there. And then I can just knife that like so. And knife you like so. I think I'm good. I think I'm going to go with that. And let's. Why are you not smoothing though? Hmm. Uh, oh, there we go. Probably good there. I think that's fine. Let's put on my mirror modifier on here now. So I think I'm getting there. So let's combine. So let's make you. I'm just going to make you metal 01 as well, just because I'm being that lazy. Oops, dang it. Let's try that again. Escape metal 01. Did I mark seams on here? I did not. Let's mark some seams because we are going to UV map this. Mark a seam there. Mark a seam there. Mark a seam there. Okay, I want a seam there. Basically, seams also. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to mark a seam there. Did I select the right thing? I did not. All right, that's kind of working, except. What are you? Oh, you're not seam. You're still. I, oh, that's right. It didn't. It doesn't select all the way across. All right, I'm getting there. I think. Yeah, I got a little problem right there. Did I not? Oh, oogly boogly. Oh, I clicked through and marked a seam over here where I didn't want one. All right, I think I'm good. What are you? Oh, you're this edge here. You're the top. You're the bottom. You're the cone. You are the cylinder. And you are the cap. I think I'm fine. I think that'll work. And then I have a seam in the back so that when I apply the mirror modifier, it should still unwrap nicely. And then now I need to just basically look at that. Let's get in one of that cylinder there. So I'm going to join these two parts. Actually, I need to apply the mirror modifier to this first. And, you know, while I'm at it, I might as well just check my wrapping on that. I think that's fine, except... Oh, I'm connected right here. Let's clear that up. Should be fine. Okay, now I can join these two together. And let's add the axle and the nut. That looks way too big, actually. I want to tease these in a little bit. Let's turn off that because I can't see what I'm doing. All right. And then I think I can bring those wheels in if I have to. Let's take a look at skate pictures again. Those wheels are pretty not really close together, so I may be in the right spot. That might do. Oops. So I want you. Can I just Control J all of that? And then Shift D. Or actually, I can mirror you a little bit, can't I? But instead of the x-axis, we can do the y-axis. And then I can just apply that, and then we could just grab this and move it to where we need it. So you're probably going to come into here. I need to see this. You know, that's not too bad. So I need to tweak you just a little bit to fit here a little better. I think that'll do the trick. Let's, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and join those. Then I can just put a good old-fashioned mirror on that. Bum, 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 bum. Generate mirror. And, oh, you know what I need to do is apply my transforms. I still need a stop. Is a stop just basically like a skate, but a little bit different shape? I think so. At least that's the way I'm going to treat it. I am missing, so that needs to be lined up in there. That needs a mirror modifier on it. So that I can get that to the other side, except I think I have to accept the transforms, and I can tab in. going to do that. Put a copy of that over there. I need a copy of this. Okay, so the wheels and the nuts are off by a little bit. That probably gets them a little bit better in place. I think I'm going to do tab into here. I'm just going to grab that and shift D and separate selection and tab out and select that and take the mirror off. Tab in A RY 90. I'm going to get rid of this line in here. Actually, let's A scale, but not Z, kind of like that. Now I'm going to lose that line. Dissolve that edge. Scale, but not Z. So I'm going to make that stopper there. Yeah, that's a little scale, but not Z. I think that's a little bit better. Does that look about right? That looks about. I might pull that out a little further though. I might add something to pull that. I don't know. Or I may not. I may not just be. I may just say frick it. I think I do want to. I'm going to tab in here. I do want a copy of Control L. And the same thing with that. And can I shift D those? Separate those out. Tab in. Hey, thanks. I appreciate that. Select everything. Let's line that up like that. I'm going to line that up on the front stopper now. I should switch in the wireframe so I can kind of, and I'm still over in UV layout. What the hell? Here, we'll do this, and actually I'm just going to do I don't need that. This will let me see those lines, so it's a little easier to maybe adjust that rotation. And that's going to kind of sit like that, and then I'm going to put a nut in the middle. Oh, it's got a mirror on it. And I'm in object mode. Let's get rid of the mirror. And let's put that back into the center. So ideally, that lines up kind of well. And I also need a copy. I made a copy of a nut in here, right? There it is. Tab A. Nope, I didn't tab. Tab A. I thought I made a copy of the nut. I guess I didn't make a copy of the nut. I need a copy of the nut. let's do that. Just put you over in here. And we'll just kind of eyeball that in to about there. Put that into the center. And we'll just get that up on, I should just do that from here in X-ray so I can kind of see what I'm doing. So kind of like that. I think that's most of it. We're getting close to quitting time here. I'm going to make a copy. Actually, I got to slide this back, don't I? Because it's sticking through. I'm going to make a quick copy of this, and I'm going to just try to line it up on the boot and see how that's looking. Tab in. Nope. Tab in. Select that. I'm going to fill that for a second because I can do this on the normal. Because then I can just slide that down like that. And then I can just delete that face out. So here, let's grab all of let's tab out. Let's grab all of that. Let's put you into a new collection. What do we call this thing? I'm going to call you skate plate and wheels. I'm just going to say skate plate. And maybe Chris has got cap locks on. Skate plate. We'll do that. Oh, hold on a second. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm going to just duplicate this real quick, make a simple object of it, and just try to line it up real fast. I still have to adjust to fit the bottom of the boot. We haven't even done that yet. But we're about to call it a day here. It is coming up on 4, and I usually 3 hours. 2 hours is a little long for me. 3 hours. Ow. Anyhow, what am I? Skate plate. Can I just duplicate collection? And I'm going to hide this one. And I'm just going to come into here. And I'm just going to do a good old Control J on that for right now. So look at this from the bottom. I'm just going to kind of try to line you up. RZ6 maybe. Nope. RZ minus 6 tends to be. Nope. So the heel is what we're going to aim for. It's going to kind of line up. I think they work something like that. I think I need to round the front out a little bit, round the back out a little bit, maybe make that plate a little bit narrower, and I might give it a little bit more shape. Let's take a look at where we are. So this is where we are for today. 3 hours and I just made a skate. That's not too bad though. I think that's going to be fine. I think everything's set up for UV mapping. So, hey, thank you all for being here. Fallen Leaves, good to see you. I'm only a big child. Always a pleasure to catch you, buddy. And I saw an Atherin popped in here. Hola, chicas. And, of course, Mr. Bond. And I had somebody else I saw at the beginning. Joris Designs was in here earlier, too. A super cool artist who streams on Twitch. But I mostly stalk on Instagram. So yeah, I think that looks like skates. I'm gonna have to. I might need some adjustment in the heights and things, but we'll see how this goes. Anyhow, thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. We will be back tonight, though, 8 p.m. for the Saturday Night Social. It's an art chair, it's a Discord chat, it's an old cartoon. And hopefully, YouTube doesn't think that this public domain cartoon that I find is actually copywritten by somebody. So, anyhow, keeping our fingers crossed for that. Um, yeah, I sell at Daz. I've got a new product that came out yesterday. Actually, the modern um, waitress outfit, the server outfit, uh, is now available at the Daz, so feel free to pick that up. Hey, we have it. Where did I just type to? I have a Discord. Feel free to join. Um, if you put stuff in the gallery, we share it at the Saturday Night Social. Tonight will be, so if you do that now, we will share that tonight. If you do that after tonight, we will share it next week. Check out Mr. Charles C.S. Bond, super cool cat. And anyhow, let's find somebody to raid and call it a day. At least call it an afternoon. We'll be back tonight. Bum, 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 bum. And where am I? I'm over here. There I am. Am I still on YouTube, or did I get banned again? Where are we? Let's see if any of the art friends are on. Meeksy is on. That's an option. I'm looking down. I'm looking down. I'm looking down. I'm going down. I'm at the bottom. We're coming back up. Guns of the Hellgast is gaming. Crystal Lone Star is on. He's doing IRL. I'm not entirely sure what Chris is up to. What are you doing? Shoving some dirt around. I'm leaning towards Meeksy. I haven't rated Meeksy in a couple of minutes. I'm still rolling up, just double checking and making sure. Lady Destroya is on. She's playing Borderlands. I think it's a Mixie day. We'll go over and say hi to Mixie. She's a marvelous artist. Let's see, what is she doing? She's arting art showcase and limited spaces. So let's do that. Thank you all for being here. Anyhow, let's do. Hey, we got the raid calls. If you're on Twitch, feel free to join the raid. If you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. There it is for non-subs. If you are a sub, feel free to copy this raid call. And let's do this /raid. And Mixie. There we go. Control V. Alrighty, thank you all for being here. And hasta la vista, baby.